Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for 𝕊𝕚𝕚𝕝𝕝 And today's attraction tips video is called Available Men from a Woman's Point of View. Now once again, a woman who commented on one of my videos left some great insight on what I teach from a woman's point of view. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you may recall when I did a video called Needy Men from a Woman's Point of View, where that woman talked about how disgusting needy men really are to her, and really to all women, as neediness is one of the biggest turnoffs for women. I've also done a couple of videos about how being too available to women is also a turnoff. It's counterintuitive. As much of how attraction works is counterintuitive, because why wouldn't a woman love a man who's always available to her when she wants to see him? Why wouldn't a woman want a man who would drop all of his plans for her? Or why wouldn't a woman want her man to respond to all of her texts or phone calls right away? On the surface, women do want all of these things, or at least they think they want that level of availability from a man. As I've mentioned in many of my videos and articles, what women think they want from a man and what actually sparks their attraction are often two very different things. This is why you have to be very careful taking advice from your female friends, because they will tell you what they believe they want from a man. In fact, it's this sort of advice that gets men into trouble with women. Of course, women mean well. They are actually trying to help you, but many women don't understand their own emotions and how they respond to certain things on an emotional level. I mean, just the other day, I had a woman commenting on one of my articles about what to do when a woman pulls away. And actually, I've had many comments from women saying that I'm giving horrible advice on this topic. But that's because it's not what they think they want from a man. And in her comments, she suggested that a man sit her down and communicate all the things he's doing and working on in order for him to be a better partner for her. Now, do you think doing something like that would have a positive or a negative effect on her attraction? And after I got done laughing at her advice, kind of like I'm doing right now, my first thoughts were, what, are you his mother? I mean, does he have to get your approval on what he's working on to be a better partner for you? And for you guys that are new, doing something like that would be a total turnoff, only making the relationship worse. Plus, she seems to think that it's only the man that has to work to be a better partner for her. Like a lot of women, she doesn't seem to realize that a relationship is a two-way street and that she must work to be the best partner for him as well. And if a woman isn't working to be her best for you as well as you are for her, then it might be time to find a woman who will put in the effort. Anyway, before I get too far off track, my point is many women don't understand how attraction works for them any better than men do. That's why there's people like me to help guide the way for you. So I'm going to read you this comment left by a woman on one of my videos. She has since deleted her comment, so I'm not going to call her out or anything like that. I'm not sure why she would delete her comment, but some women who leave some great insight on my videos often do delete their comments. I don't know why. Perhaps they feel that they're being a traitor to the sisterhood or something, since most women have been conditioned by society the same way that most of us men have. And just to paint you a little picture, I checked out her profile, and this isn't some hard stripper type woman, and no offense to strippers, but I mean, I'm only going by her appearance, but from what I could tell, she's just your average good girl. I mean, I'm only telling you this because this is all women who are biologically wired this way. Many men believe that not all women are this way, or that their girl is the one special one who would never behave in such a way. But women are simply wired this way. So yes, it's all women. But if you guys need my personal help and you're interested in some private coaching, please head over to my website at 𝕊𝕚𝕚𝕆𝕗 Click on the coaching tab, and there you'll see that I have several options for you to choose from. I offer standard email coaching as well as emergency email coaching that includes a response from me on weekends and holidays. And I also offer both bi-weekly and monthly email coaching where I will work with you throughout that time period. Additionally, I offer phone coaching for my U.S. clients. Now, if you live outside the U.S., I will have a phone or Skype coaching option sometime in the future, but for now, email coaching is the way to go. And I will post the link to both my contact page and my coaching page in the description down below. So let's go through her comment. She says, "It's so true. Strength, confidence, and this emotional muscle to stay strong and steady even when I'm emotional, but he must also have ultimate boundaries is really attractive." See what she's saying here? Or what she's talking about here? She's basically saying that a man who can be her emotional rock is very attractive. Women want a man who can stay emotionally centered when they're being emotional themselves. And women often want a man who they can lean on during times like this. A man who won't panic just because she's pulling away from him a bit. A man who is confident of his worth and his value and knows that she's not going to leave him, and only that she's going through a difficult moment emotionally. Women need this in a man. She goes on here, "And I wondered why I felt more attraction to a guy who had slightly less time for me than I wanted versus a guy who had way more time for me than I wanted and who would invite himself to my plans." See what I mean here? She doesn't even completely understand it until she watched my video. Like most women, she thought she wanted a man who would always be available to her, but she clearly stated that she felt less attraction for the guy who was available to her and more attraction for the guy who was less available. And as I mentioned before, scarcity creates value. And as a little side note here, don't you dare invite yourself along with your girl on her plans. That's weak. She continues here. "It's weird because intellectually I told myself that I wanted someone super available, but in terms of physical attraction, I don't." Again, she's reiterating that she thought she wanted a man who was super available to her, but it's not attractive to her, even though she wanted that. And most likely she complained to whatever man that he wasn't available enough. And in turn, he probably became available to her because of that, ultimately turning her off. Now, remember what I've told you guys in the past. It's better for her attraction that she be a little frustrated with you that you're not available enough, as opposed to you always being there. She says, "Apparently, through experience, I've learned that I want someone just available enough who pays attention to me when we're together and who has their own interesting, sparkly life and their own independence and boundaries to fall back on if I'm having a tough time and making things tough in the relationship." Now, first, did you notice that even women know that they sometimes make things difficult in the relationship? So don't think that they don't get that. But more importantly, she's basically saying what I've always been telling you guys. Women want a man who has a fun and interesting life, often independent of her and the relationship. Because women, they like to attach themselves to a man like that, but she wants to be a part of it when she wants to be a part of it, not so much when you're trying to force her to be a part of it. And not only that, but when you're with your girl, she wants your full presence. And that's something else I've said numerous times. So this woman's comments is a perfect example of what I've been teaching you guys. Women want a man who could be their emotional rock when they're extra emotional themselves. A man who who's not going to cave when she needs him to lean on, and a man who's not going to panic when all her attention isn't on him. They also want a man who can give her his full presence when they're together, but not so much a man who is pressuring her to spend time with him or not always available to her every time she wants his attention or time. They want a man who has a life, and preferably one that is fun, exciting, and interesting so they can complement his life. And just because she's on your case about not spending enough time with her, or on your case about not changing your ways to where she feels more comfortable, doesn't mean that you should actually do it. Of course, there will be times when her complaints about your lack of availability or some changes that you need to make in your life are just. But it's up to you to figure out what's reasonable and what's unreasonable, because everyone lives a different life. What's being too available for me might not be the same for you. And I teach you guys the fundamentals, and from there, it's up to you to apply it to your life and your personality in such a way where it works and it fits. But just because a woman wants you to change doesn't mean that you should. Because often women try to change a man in such a way where she thinks he will be her perfect man. But that typically backfires on them, because often the things a woman wants you to change is actually what attracts her to you. Case in point in this particular video. So you want to be careful with that. It's always best to be the man who she fell in love with, the guy who you were in the very beginning of the courtship. Because, like I said, that's the guy who she fell in love with. And this is one of the many reasons why it's important that you guys learn this information and practice it. You want to be in a position where you know how to respond to these sort of things. So, if you have found this video helpful, or any of my videos helpful, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and for you to share it with any of your friends and family. And I would also really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol right next to it so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. And in the description down below, not only will I have a link to both my contact page and my coaching page, but I also have a link to PayPal if you deem this video worthy of a donation. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.